Last year we held a number of workshops for Transform Leatherhead in conversation, and following those workshops there were questions emailed and sent in to us which we hadn't been able to answer. So we've put together this virtual Q&A which hopefully addresses some of those questions. So the budget for Transform Leatherhead is sort of in two parts in a way. We have the regeneration reserve, which was first allocated as part of the Transform Leatherhead master plan in July 2016, and at the time it had £1 million in it. That has then been supplemented over time with the business rates retention pilot, so that it then had £2.6 million. And that fund has been used to pay for the viability studies, and it will be used to pay for the detailed planning and so on and so forth for all the different elements of the master plan effectively.
So Kira, you mentioned about 2 tranches of funding. Is it worth highlighting what the second tranche is for?
So the regeneration reserve is not designed to build these projects. What we have there is we're going to have a range of sources, so Mole Valley District Council, grants, potentially Coaster Capital, LEP, money from the development partners that we go in with, and also money from SIL or Section 106.
And in fact, Coaster Capital have already funded a significant proportion of Clare House and James House, so that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I got asked on a number of occasions at the TL in Conversation events was the transparency of the funds that we were using.
Yeah, so as a local authority we are really transparent as to how we spend money, and I think sort of looking forward, any proceeds from any development projects would be reinvested back into delivery of the wider Transform Leatherhead master plan.
There's not a specific number of people that we're trying to accommodate through the TL schemes. Each will be assessed on a case-by-case basis. For Clare and James House, we've got a planning application and a planning approval for 35 1- and 2-bedroom flats.
Kira, would you like to touch on the local plan?
Yes, so the Cabinet have approved the draft local plan to go out to consultation with residents. Bull Hill is obviously a strategic site within that, with the capacity to have up to 450 houses. But the draft local plan is really aimed at meeting the government's targets, which Mole Valley is obliged to try to meet.
So following on from that, Corrie, do you want to touch on a question that came up quite frequently, which is around sort of the planning constraints and requirements on the Transform Leatherhead sites?
Yeah, definitely. The planning constraints for each site are obviously going to differ. The councillor's planning applicant is going to have to comply with the same requirements and regulations that any developer would, so each site will be assessed on its own merits and will have different requirements it needs to meet.
We were so happy to get this question following the TL in Conversation events. Coralie, do you want to give your thoughts?
Yeah, I also thought it was a really great question because it's really key that the community get involved. So that can be done by people sending us their views, questions, any ideas that they've got, and that can either be done by sending emails to the Transform Leatherhead email address or by contacting Kira and other local ward councillors.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, also, I think it's about, how can people help and get involved? Well, they can, go to Leatherhead, attend the carnival, go to the duck race, go to the artisan markets, really make Leatherhead a vibrant, sort of sparkling town, and let's see this transformation happen.
Yeah. I mean, 2020 is the year of Shop Local. There's a really big marketing campaign coming up this year. And I think we also shared some ideas around 8 ways you could help support your local high street. So we're happy to repost that information, but it is about use it or lose it. So please ditch the car, walk into town and make use of all the great shops and businesses that are there. There's lots of information around, supporting your local businesses, creates much more benefit to the local economy, and really want to get that message out loud and clear.
I think, again, the other thing that people can do is they can attend our TL in Conversation events, because we do need to understand what the community want as part of Transform Leatherhead. Up here we've got our Twitter and our Facebook feed, links through to our social media pages, and we're posting things on social media on a regular basis, so it would be good if people could follow that and respond with their ideas and thoughts on what we're proposing.
Great.